Thanks for joining me for our first true video lesson in Mr. Collins' biology class. All right, so introducing biology. First, we have to ask ourselves, what is biology? What does this discipline focus on? So let's break down the word. If you look at the prefix in biology, bio, that means life. And then ology, it means study of. So if we're studying biology, we are studying life. But you have to ask yourself, what is life, right? What does it mean to be alive? What differentiates between something that's living and non-living? Now, as a scientist and specifically a biologist, we need to be able to categorize or separate the subjects in our surroundings as to whether or not it is alive or not alive. Biologists can also be broken down into subdisciplines like zoology, environmental biology, behavioral biology, mycology, the study of fungus, or even something like behavioral psychology would be a subdiscipline of biology because our behavior a lot of times is determined by our internal conditions, which can be controlled by our brains. So we need to be able to have a definition or a way of defining something as being alive or not. And this whole living or non-living is the classic dichotomy. And a dichotomy simply is a relationship between two terms or two ideas, meaning that they are in exact opposition or completely different from one or the other. In other words, you can't be alive and not alive at the same time. You are either one or the other. Well, technically speaking, and we'll have more on that here shortly. So when biologists and scientists look at their environment, they first separate the different components. And those components can be separated as living or biotic or non-living, referred to as abiotic. Well, let's look at the word a little closer. Here we see that prefix again, bio, meaning life, and the TIC simply refers to the fact that this word is an adjective or can be used to describe something. So something could be biotic, right? Applying that adjective as a descriptive component. And what does it mean to be a biotic component? How do we know? And we'll have more on that later. Abiotic, we break the word down, we now see this A in front of bio. So if bio means alive and we have an A out in front of it, that would mean not alive. Think about the word typical. If you put an A in front of it, you have atypical. And if typical behavior is normal behavior, if you put an A in front of it, you have not normal behavior. So by having the A in front of bio, we have now indicated that whatever this component or subject or specimen is in fact not living. So I want you to look at these two lists. You've got biotic and abiotic. And here in a minute, I want you to pause the video and I want you to ask yourself, what do all the specimens or subjects in the column biotic, what do they all have in common? And then I want you to look at this category, abiotic. What do all these specimens or subjects have in common? Now, after you've been able to nail down some similarities in the subjects under biotic and nail down some similarities for the subjects in abiotic, I want you then to compare the two groups. What does biotic mean, or what do the subjects under that category have that the subjects under this category do not?